friends, Shelley here, the Youth and Family Program Coordinator. So glad that you're here with us today, where we're practicing our daily Bible reading from our Taking Faith Home toolkit that we've been using as an entire congregation to learn and grow and practice our faith together each and every day. If you have a Bible nearby, you can go ahead and grab it and follow along with me as I read. Otherwise, of course, you can always just listen as well. So glad that you're here. Doing these readings together gives us an opportunity to not only stay connected with our faith, but also with each other. So I'm so glad that we can have this time together today. Just as a reminder before we get started, our focus for this week is we are fed by God's love to bear good fruit. And for Wednesday, we are reading John chapter 15, verses 1 through 11. And then we'll have a reflection question and a possible activity as well that you can consider as well. All right, so I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be given you. This is my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's commands and remained in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. So what stood out to you today in our Bible reading? Is there something that caught your attention? I think the thing that I heard, it was repeated a couple of times in here, was that Jesus says, I am the vine and you are the branches. And so really what he's talking about is that our spiritual lives thrive when we stay connected to Jesus. And when you cut off a branch, it'll kind of wither away and die, right? Just like when we get disconnected or our hearts become weary and we fall away maybe or drift away from God a little bit, we can struggle as well. You know, I have this plant here with me today, and I thought about it. It's actually a plant that it's been kind of hard to grow. It stays the way it is, but it doesn't really grow much more for more leaves or more branches yet. I'm kind of learning how to care for it. But, looking at this, if I peeled this, leaf away and was just holding it or tried to bury it without the branch that it's attached to, it's not really going to do very well. And that's kind of what we're hearing in our story today. If we break off of this branch and we break away from this core that is Jesus, we're going to struggle. It's not going to go very well. We'll have a harder time. And so with that in mind, I invite us to spend a little time with this reflection question today, which is, what practices help you stay connected to God? And what happens when you neglect those practices? I think for myself, one of the practices I have is doing these daily Bible readings, as well as praying. Going to church helps me stay connected. If you have somebody nearby, maybe you can spend a little bit of time talking about that. You can share ideas of different ways that you all stay connected to God. I'd also invite you to add them in the comments as well and share them broadly with more folks too. And of course, if this inspires you, you can even share the video as well with your friends or others that you know, and hopefully that they can join in the conversation as well. Another great thing to do is to obviously live out your faith and kind of dig into this idea of how do we connect our everyday life with what we're talking about here. And just like I talked to you about this plant, maybe you have a plant at home as well that you can spend some time talking about, what helps it grow. Water, nutrients, good soil, and then, break off a piece of it and just spend a little time seeing what happens, after the end of the week. What's happened to that small branch or that small leaf or petal that you've broken off? Does it look the same as the rest of the leaves? Has it withered a little bit? It'd be a great way to discuss the idea and kind of make it feel a little real in our real life activities. Well, let's close then with a word of prayer. Jesus, help us remain in you so that we may bear fruit and share your love with the world. Amen. Well, thank you for being with me today for our Bible reading. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon.